Pressure tolerance. Pressure tolerance. We talked about this before when it came to attitude maintenance, about how to circumvent using the oxytocin pathways to decrease the activity in the amygdala. But let's talk a little bit more about it. So we talked about because there's two factors to it. Number one is the actual perceived stress and pressure, but there are a couple more. The other one is what it's called trigger-happy catecholamines. Bonus points, can anyone tell me what a catecholamine is? Okay, so it's a mixture of chemicals in your brain designed to create energy and excitement. So dopamine, noradrenaline, adrenaline. What that means, and in various ways that it uptakes. Catecholamines is when you're really, really fired up about something or when you're really in danger. Anytime something's full on, you've got a medley of catecholamines in your brain. I'll give you some extra autism for you guys if you want, right? So do you know how, you ever listen to a song that's like amazing and get goosebumps? Has anyone experienced that before? So do you want to know why that happens? Okay, so when your brain gets because dopamine and noradrenaline will almost always release at the same time, because if something's interesting, you want to pay more attention and focus and get more energy. That noradrenaline releases adrenaline from your body. And so generally, if something's really interesting or exciting, it will also release adrenaline. Now, adrenaline, when it's in your body, because obviously it's multi-purpose, what it will do is if you get cut, it wants you to not bleed as much, because if you're in a dangerous situation. So what it'll do, it'll tighten up your skin like if you're really cold. So when something's really, really interesting, it'll have that autonomic, better tighten my skin up because of the adrenaline. And that's where the goosebumps come from. That's cool. Does anyone call them goosebumps? I don't care, right? The other thing, obviously, an output focus as well. Why does focusing on the goal and not on the steps cause catecholamines and stress in the brain?
Looking too far into the future creates anxiety.
Well, it's inhibiting your ability to execute because you're focusing on the wrong things, but also focusing on the outcome then makes you focus on not achieving the outcome. And failing in front of a group of our peers is a perceived life or death threat until we train that part of our brain properly.
Kind of like when you're riding a motorbike and like they teach you not to look at the object on the road.
Yeah, very relatable because we all ride motorbikes.
No, it's if you look at the object on the road, like if you've got a pothole coming up, they tell you like not to look at the pothole. You actually like purposely look away from it, so you can actually steer away from it. Otherwise, if you're focusing on it, you'll get it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't focus on the result, focus on the steps. But focusing on that steps, that increases the fear of failure. Let's take the of failure part of that off. What are we left with? Fear, and fear then creates that issue in our amygdala again, which pulls the intelligence out of our brain. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Solutions. Number one, and this is, Jeremy's going to love this, is a really, really easy way to increase your and your reps' attitude control is by getting your brain used to catecholamines. How do you get your brain used to catecholamines outside of consistently hitting sales targets?
Boxing.
Do exciting things, do anything full on. Do you notice people who do cold baths in the morning generally have really good attitude control? I told you you'd like this one, right? It's because Jeremy's unflappable. You cannot get this guy off of his energy because his brain is used to being in a state of catecholamines every day. He's used to that. So it doesn't make him panic when he's in panicking situations. I do my best work when everything's going wrong. Everyone else is panicking. I'm like, yeah, I'm used to this. So I would highly suggest doing something dangerous, right? Not so much like death, but go spar once a week. Go experience real danger of what your brain is perceiving someone trying to kill you. Or just, rock climbing or, being out doing, mountain biking, whatever it might be. Do exciting stuff. Ideally not anything that damages your legs, because then your ability to knock or sell and boost kind of hampers. But experience danger more. That'll help your attitude. And encourage your guys to do the same thing. Does that make sense?
Arguments with your partner helps.
No, that's actually counterproductive, yeah.
I'm scared for my life when that happens.
Okay, well then keep it up. Just keep being you. Okay. The other side of it, right, is more pressure, it means more challenges, means people learn to input focus in that environment. What is the difference between people who are good under pressure and bad under pressure? People who are bad under pressure output focus under pressure. Pressure makes people more inclined to output focus. That's the only difference between someone who's good under pressure and bad, is people who are good under pressure, they're not better under pressure, they're better at input focusing under pressure. I'm not seeing a lot of pens on that one. I thought that's fire. People who are better at pressure are people who are better at input focusing under pressure when the pressure tries to make them output focus. And the secret is give them more challenges. Give your guys more challenges. Hey, I'm going to get you to run this road trip this week. Hey, I want you to run 3 straight to turf days back to back to back, and I want you to run this team, and I want you to try and get a 3-piece between you without coming into the meeting, and you just run that team yourself. What are the steps you need to follow? Great. Make sure you only focus on those steps. You got this. Little challenges. None of you guys are setting enough challenges for your guys. The challenges, we talked about this in the mid-year when I talked about the Lions, Tigers, Bears. You're not mauling enough. You maul by setting challenges and following up on how they're doing with the challenge. The challenge is what makes them learn the skills that they need to be great leaders. So I definitely take that away from this.